Outside the dealership, Barron Trump paused, the weight of the encounter pressing down on him. Yet, instead of anger or frustration, an idea began to form in his mind. A way to channel this experience into something meaningful. He reached into his pocket, pulling out his phone. With a few taps, he began drafting a post. Today, I was refused service at a luxury car dealership because of a hat. A hat that represents not just a campaign, but the belief in free speech, equality, and the courage to stand by your principles. This isn't about politics. It's about respect and freedom. It's time for a change, and that change starts with us. The post went live, accompanied by a photo of the dealership's gleaming facade and the infamous red hat. Within minutes, it started gaining traction, first among his followers and then far beyond. The hashtags #freedom of choice and #not just a hat began trending. But Barron didn't stop there. He reached out to a few friends, young entrepreneurs and influencers who shared his vision. Together, they launched an initiative called Drive Forward, a movement promoting inclusivity and respect, regardless of beliefs or appearances. They partnered with brands, created merchandise, and even organized meetups where people from all walks of life could share their stories. The incident at the dealership, which could have been just another fleeting controversy, became the catalyst for a global conversation. People began sharing their own experiences of discrimination, inspiring others to stand up for their rights. Back at Lux Auto House, the manager and staff watched as their dealership became the center of media attention, not for the cars, but for their actions. A public apology was issued, but the damage was done. Meanwhile, Barron's initiative grew exponentially. On his 18th birthday, instead of driving off in a luxury car, he celebrated by announcing a scholarship fund under the Drive Forward banner, aimed at empowering young leaders to create a more inclusive future. In turning a moment of rejection into a movement of unity, Barron Trump proved that sometimes the best way to respond to adversity is to rise above it and take the world with you. For Barron Trump, the viral attention wasn't about seeking revenge, but about setting an example. As the news spread, the weight of the incident began to shift, away from personal humiliation and toward a broader conversation about respect and civility. The dealership's corporate apology, while swift, felt hollow to many. People weren't satisfied with vague promises of an internal investigation. Barron, however, decided to use the momentum for something more meaningful, turning the moment into a movement. He announced the launch of an initiative called Red Hat Resolve, focusing on fostering dialogue and understanding in a deeply polarized world. The campaign aimed to promote the idea that symbols, whether political, cultural, or personal, shouldn't define a person's worth or intentions. Barron's message struck a chord. Donations poured in from supporters across the country, and partnerships with organizations advocating for free speech and mutual respect began to form. He scheduled a series of town hall-style events, inviting people with diverse viewpoints to share their experiences and perspectives in a constructive environment. The ripple effect. The dealership, under mounting pressure, fired the manager involved in the incident and announced a company-wide training program on customer service and unconscious bias. However, the public backlash continued to hit their bottom line. Competing dealerships seized the opportunity, publicly offering discounts to customers who felt unwelcome at Lux Auto House. On the other hand, Barron's calm and thoughtful response won him praise across political and generational divides. He was invited to speak at schools, universities, and even corporate events about the importance of handling conflict with dignity and promoting kindness over division. A new legacy. Barron's decision to respond with grace rather than anger set a powerful example. It wasn't about the car, the hat, or even the dealership. It was about rising above pettiness to inspire meaningful change. Years later, as he looked back on that pivotal moment outside the dealership, Barron realized something profound. Sometimes, the most humbling experiences are the ones that spark the brightest movements. Lit up with testimonials, photos, and videos of people making conscious efforts to treat others with respect and empathy, Schools began adopting the campaign's principles into their curriculums, teaching students the value of understanding and tolerance. Businesses pledged to improve their customer service and workplace cultures, aligning with the ideals of drive respect. The partnership between Orem Motors and Barron became a blueprint for how corporations and individuals could collaborate to create meaningful change. The campaign didn't just stop at social media, it expanded into community programs, charity events, and public service announcements. Barron himself participated in workshops, visiting schools, hosting town halls, and engaging with people from all walks of life. His ability to listen without judgment and respond with thoughtfulness made him a role model for many. Meanwhile, Lux Auto House, still reeling from the fallout, took drastic steps to rebuild its image. They reached out to Barron privately, offering a formal apology and inviting him to participate in their efforts to improve. While Barron declined a partnership, he encouraged them to focus on real change, not just damage control. Lux launched its own internal campaign, instituting comprehensive staff training programs and donating to drive respect. While it took time, their transparency and genuine efforts began to repair their reputations. On Barron's 18th birthday, the launch of Drive Respect was celebrated with a live-streamed event featuring prominent speakers, heartfelt stories from supporters, and the unveiling of Orem Motors' special edition car, the Apex Respect, with proceeds going to fund scholarships for students who embodied the campaign's values. Barron's journey from being rejected at a dealership to becoming a symbol of unity and kindness resonated deeply with people worldwide. He had taken a personal moment of adversity and turned it into a global movement, proving that resilience and compassion could overcome division. Years later, Drive Respect became a staple in conversations about modern civility, and Barron Trump, the young man who once walked out of a dealership with his head held high, was credited with helping the world rediscover the simple power of kindness. As Barron sat on the terrace watching the waves roll in and the colors of the sunset deepen, he felt a profound sense of peace. The whirlwind of media attention, the campaign's rapid growth, and the transformation of a negative experience into something constructive, it had all been overwhelming. Yet, in that quiet moment, he realized that the journey wasn't just about changing others. It was about growth within himself. The Drive Respect movement had taken on a life of its own. Social media was still buzzing with stories from people inspired to make small, meaningful changes in their lives. Families shared how the campaign brought them closer, colleagues found new ways to collaborate, and communities began hosting monthly events to celebrate diversity and kindness. Barron thought about what came next. Turning 18 wasn't just a milestone. It was a doorway to endless possibilities. He decided he wanted to continue blending personal passions with purposeful action. Whether through philanthropy, advocacy, or even business ventures, he envisioned a future where values like respect, understanding, and resilience guided his choices. He opened his laptop, drafting a plan to expand Drive Respect globally. He wanted to bring the campaign to underserved communities, create educational programs, and develop partnerships with international organizations. His goal was clear: to ensure that respect wasn't just a trending hashtag, but a universal principle embedded in daily life. That evening, as his family gathered for his birthday dinner, Barron felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The past few weeks had tested him, but they had also shown him the incredible potential of leading with integrity. His father raised a glass during the toast. "To Barron," Donald Trump said with a smile, "for showing the world that strength isn't just about standing tall, it's about lifting others." The table erupted in applause, but Barron, ever humble, simply nodded. In his heart, he knew the work had only just begun. The story of that day at the dealership faded into the background over time, but its impact endured. Drive Respect became a global initiative, influencing policies, shaping conversations, and inspiring generations to come. And for Barron Trump, it was a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected moments in life hold the greatest opportunities to create change, not just for oneself, but for the world. As Barron's video spread across the internet, it resonated with people from all walks of life. The message of choosing kindness, even in the face of unfairness, touched a universal chord. From classrooms to boardrooms, people began sharing stories of how they faced their own moments of conflict with grace, and understanding schools began integrating the drive, respect message into their curricula, teaching children not only the importance of kindness, but also practical ways to resolve conflicts and foster empathy. Community centers hosted workshops, and businesses adopted policies inspired by the campaign, emphasizing respect as a core value in customer service and workplace interactions. Even Lux Auto House, struggling to rebuild its reputation, adopted new measures to align with the movement they had unintentionally helped ignite. They partnered with Drive Respect to sponsor workshops on professionalism and inclusivity, taking meaningful steps to regain the trust of their community. The campaign reached global audiences. Barron's video was translated into multiple languages, and international organizations reached out to collaborate. In countries where divisive rhetoric often dominated public discourse, Drive Respect became a beacon of hope, reminding people that unity was still possible. Barron, despite his newfound fame, remained grounded. He continued to speak at events, not as a celebrity, but as someone who believed deeply in the cause. When asked in an interview what motivated him, he replied simply, "It's not about being perfect. It's about trying to be better, one moment, one choice at a time." That night, as Barron celebrated with his family, the glow of the campaign's success felt secondary to the warmth of those closest to him. His mother's words from earlier echoed in his mind. "You turned something hurtful into something meaningful." For Barron, it wasn't just about a moment of triumph. It was about proving that adversity could be the catalyst for something extraordinary. As he looked out at the stars once more, he felt a sense of fulfillment. He had chosen kindness, and in doing so, he had inspired millions to do the same. Drive Respect wasn't just a campaign anymore. It was a movement, a legacy, and a reminder that the simplest choices often have the greatest power to change the world.